1995, which was yesterday, I decided I would build a recording studio in Petersburg, New York, and as unlikely as it seems, that's what I've been doing ever since, so it's worked. And I've come up with a few mantras over the years, and one of them is like, you should treat a microphone like a champagne bottle. If this was a champagne bottle, I would have champagne all over my shirt. So what I would do is turn it like this, and then I can talk over it. You're never going to get up closer because you're popping the microphone. And it reminds me of the champagne.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Free advice. So, I've known shows for years and years and years. He's a bass player. He's played with my partner Deb's band in its many incarnations. In fact, there is a wild YouTube video of Evil Ways that was recorded right downstairs, which it's one of these things where it's better than the original Evil Ways.
Talking Santana Evil Ways?
Yeah, the Santana Evil Ways. And the reason is that when Santana played that song, it was brand new. They were feeling it out, you know, they learned it, they played it, but they didn't have a time to really psych out the ins and outs of it, like shows do. So, yeah, so I knew him as a bass player, and called me up one day, and he had an audio book that he wanted to do, and sure, yeah. You need a treated room where it's silent, like a drum booth, for example. You need a good microphone, like the E100S, which is what I obviously would suggest you do. And with computers these days, you have what you call a digital audio workstation, which in the computer you have everything that the old style recording studio would have. A tape deck, a mixing board, preamps, and the most beautiful thing about computerizing audio, that really was a absolutely revolutionary thing, computerizing audio, because in the pre-digital world, the tape deck was rolling in real time, and you had to do everything in real time. And as fast as you could do it, it would work. And if you had several things on your mixing board, you had the harmonica to bring in and bring out, the saxophone would come up, the string section, however many hands you had on the board, and however quickly you could do it, that would work. But if you had a noise that went, and you wanted to drop that out, well, good luck. You'll play the thing and then, oh, we missed it. And I'll screw it. There's a noise. It happened, whatever. But nowadays, with this automated stuff, you go in, you draw the fader down for a split second, and it comes back up, and it plays through, and the noise is gone. It's all a fraud. I hate to admit that. But in my mind, all of recording is a fraud. There's not a band playing under your dashboard, however entertaining and soothing and reassuring it is. So you embrace the fraudulence of it, and you try to do the best fraud that you possibly can. So when Shows first told me he had an audiobook, I misheard him, and I thought it was the Footloose girls of Camp C. And in my mind, it's, the Boy Scout camp. It's not too far from the Girl Scout camp. And, you know, this fun, summertime, youthful recollection. And I'm sure you gave me a copy of the book, but I didn't have a chance to read it or go through it. And the cover was, yeah, there's a forest, summertime. So the first time I heard it was when I had the headphones on, and Shows was reading the book. And as you might imagine, I went from, oh, happy recollection, youthful thing, to, holy shit. I'm honored that shows chose me to do it, and I have to say it was a life-changing experience to hear it in real life and to hear the real person telling the story, which is much different from, I think, every other audiobook, which would be, the jungle was dark that night, and me and my men were ready for the mission. And, you know, this hyper-exaggerated, dramatic kind of reading you would expect. So to have shows do it in his very straightforward, simple, almost deadpan way was very different. It was very real. And I think that's the power of it. And the other power of it, which I told him at some point, is like, you're so honest about your confusion and the mistakes you made and the way you felt like an idiot sometimes. A lot of people would soft pedal that or downplay it or just not admit it. I'm not an idiot. I never made any mistakes. It was all their fault. So between those two things, the honesty and the reality of it, I feel like this is, it's an audio book, but it's on a whole different level than a spy thriller or David Copperfield, you know, imaginary things. This is, it's on a whole different level. Anyway, we were talking about the technical challenges. Something in a text, you kind of bring yourself to the text and you read it and you imagine what the voices sound like. There's places where they have an internal thought bubble monologues, and how do you turn that into, how do you have a suggestion in the audio that that's happening? And I thought about it and I thought, well, the thoughts in your head kind of echo around in your head. So that's what we'll do. Anytime it's italicized and it's an internal thinking, we'll have a reverb that to distinguish from the actual talking. And the other thing was the deafening ringing in your ears. In the text, there's ellipses, and you get every third word, every fifth word. So there had to be some way of reinforcing that. So I have a synthesizer called the Integra 7. It's a pretty amazing machine, and I thought, well, we need a sound effect. But most of the sound effects are musical. You're playing a keyboard, and it'll be a note. So we need something that's just kind of a generic roar, like roar. Well, we don't have a roar, but I found something called glasses, which is if you put a wine glass and you put water on the top of a wine glass, it'll give a, then you perhaps have done that. And if you, I don't want to make any assumptions. If you pitch that down 2 or 3 octaves, you'll get a, and I thought, that's what we're looking for. So I have a 30-second section here that I'll play in conclusion. If you can see this, this is the happy, fun, reassuring vision of what a digital audio workstation looks like. It's the WAV files, and you learn to love and believe in the WAV files. And this is the modern world. So I'm going to crank this up if I can.
What's that chord?
Oops, right. And as the cursor goes along, it'll play. It starts with shows talking, it goes into a thought bubble, and then it goes into a little bit of the ringing in your ears. Let's see if this works. Well, you know, you'd think it was be working, but
Yeah, you want to connect it to that Bluetooth speaker?
oh, I need to. It's at the 1 hour mark, and we need to be like at the 10 hour.
Is there a technical engineer in the house?
I don't think so.
We put it back. Yeah. Oh, you're it.
Ah, there it is. It was there somewhere.
Roma stands. He sees me blood. Blood is on my face, head, left arm, hands, sleeves, and on my vest. Blood is also smeared on the handles of my handguns and K-bars sticking out of my vest. Crap. Blood all over the front of my pants. Look alive. You had Trip come across, guys in the bush. Fuck. My hair is cooked.
So I look forward to the sequel, because if you've gotten to the last chapter, you know that shows alludes to maybe another career that he had subsequent to the events of the Footless Girls, and my suggestion was to keep it vague. He should present it as, well, I was in a bar and I've got some kind of notoriety for what I've done, you know, for this book, and I was approached by this guy who said, well, let me tell you what I did. Whether that's imminent or not, we haven't booked the time yet for that, but we'll see. So I too look forward to the movie of this, because it has movie written all over it. And then the other thing I look forward to is the video game where you can be shown.
There you go. Hey,
Thank you.
why not? Yeah.
Any questions for Joel? Want to get this right?
Yeah.
Joel did teach me this once.
You forgot.
Failed to learn it.
Any questions for any of, John or Dina
Or you?
or Joel or Kim?
So, in the beginning of the thing, was it Pollywog?
Oh, Camp Pollywog? No. I didn't hear about Pollywog until a couple years later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Camp Pollywog was a camp in the Adirondacks that, I'm not really sure if our family owned it or some extended part of our family.
The
Yeah.
most fascinating part about Camp Pollywog to me as a child was it was built with seats in the outhouse.
Yeah.
Kids need a break.
And actually, you referenced that while I'm in West Virginia. That two-seater was an homage to that. Like,
Do you remember
for
that?
people that are asking me what parts are true or not, it's hard to remember every single detail. So you gotta draw from whatever you got to paint a picture. And there's a million things like that like only Kim might get, or certain people. Rob,
A
yeah.
lot of 318.
There are a lot of
As
things.
anybody who knows Rob
I found at least 3.
knows that March 18th is her birthday, and she's all about the number 318.
Like if it's on the clock.
I say happy birthday.
We do that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of references. Just only for Robin would get those. I did that throughout the book.
Was there more than 3? Because I found 3.
There might be one more. I don't.
Yeah,
I
I got a
can't remember
message from a
exactly.
friend, my friend T in Oklahoma, oh, I just found the 318.
And again, a lot of this wasn't really written for public consumption originally. It was going to be for my family until, not that I realized anything, but until people started telling me how good this book was. One thing I found in music is if you think you're pretty good, go ahead and tell people. If you're great, they'll tell you. And boy, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting about my book at this point. And the fact that all of you came here is a testament to that. I appreciate that so much. Dina, you have a question?
I do. So will there be another book?
I'm going to be vague here. There's a couple things going on there. If there were further adventures with this company, then I will probably still be under a non-disclosure agreement. And the other thing that's very realistic is if there was, it would have happened in the United States. And we have laws and we have record keeping. And, I wouldn't want to say something that could come back to me here. In the middle of a jungle, I wasn't concerned about it at all then because I didn't even understand what was going on that level. But now I wouldn't want to bring attention to myself for things that may or may not have happened that could or could not be found out. That's pretty vague, I guess. But, I will say this, I've paid attention to pedophilia and abuse of women, mostly, men get abused too, but sadly it's mostly women. I've never walked by that. I've stuck my nose into things that no one will ever know about, hopefully. And that's about what I can say about that, to be fair to myself on that. Yeah, it's a very sad situation that this happens, and the sadder part is that it's more so now than it was when this happened to me, and I don't get that. I can never accept that. And I'm 7 years old. I'm sure I can't fight like I used to, but I'm not going to walk by it when I see stuff like that going on. I stick my nose into that. Other than that, this is America, and do whatever you want, my friends. But don't do that in front of me. I will step up.
Thank you.
Happy to entertain anything else. We do have, you can hear the band starting to warm up. They're starting at 8. We're here till 6, so I think we still have a little bit more time. I'm happy to talk some more. Or just, everybody enjoy this. I hope you all saw the fancy cupcakes that Jody made.
Yeah.
What cupcakes? There's no cupcakes. They're all right.
We ransomed
Yeah.
And
Mo?
shows, I think you should bring posters to your next event.
Yeah, thanks for that comment.
I think you can sell some, I would love to have a poster to put in my studio.
Yeah, gotcha.
Shows, call me, I can get them printed for you really inexpensively on a thicker paper, size a little bigger than this 13.9.
Yeah, sure.
You might want to think about.
Like I did
signing
for
too.
your other dance.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, this was made like almost on the spur of the moment
Well,
for
that's a photocopy.
Gene. That's a photocopy that I made for the event where Gene and John were there. That was quick off the cuff way to handle that.
But if you're gonna do more events like this, or just speaking, might be nice to have a few around.
Yeah. Another thing, I'm not any kind of public speaker, although I think I'm doing pretty good here today. And certainly, I'm not prepared for things like this in my life. I've always been the kind of guy in the background, and I do my job, and I speak up when I have to. But it's not something that I normally do. So, one, this is a good practice because this is the biggest group I've talked to in front of, and you know, whatever you feel about what I did, I feel that, you know, we pulled this off pretty good. Robin was a great help. Robin put together all these centerpieces for the table.
Do you get the paper spread on? Take your choice, everybody. Pick what you want. Pick what you want.
Very easy, I'm not.
What we got tuna?
I think I filed it.
I'll take a tuna. And this is a major in the book.
Well,
Yes.
all of these things were the things that they gave us.
Okay, so that's what I want to go in as the end of the presentation. Do a little reading. Food, as I mentioned earlier, boy, that's all you think about. You're starving. I think I referenced in the book I lost almost 60 pounds in a month. You know, you just can't eat it. You're just constantly walking and moving, and the nervousness and the stress takes its toll. And food is basically your only comfort. If I had thought about it, I would have bought a book or two, but what did I know? I didn't know anything. Hey, Ashley's here too. Food. Very limited food. We started out with some fresh food that we took from the camp, but of course that's going to spoil, but it didn't spoil because we wolfed it as fast as possible. And then we were into all the variety of military meals, MCIs, MREs, Spam, Pop-Tarts. I lived on for the most part for that entire time. We had beef jerky till it ran out, cans of tuna fish, and the one thing that made it palatable was for me Tabasco sauce. Other guys liked soy sauce. Other guys liked what I refer to in the book as, what's this here
What's this here
sauce?
sauce?
I hated that sauce. So I mocked it a little bit in the book. But anyway, I want to do a couple little readings about food, just to reinforce how important that is. Yeah, that's Mike Irvin right there, I'm pretty sure, or Mike McDonald. Anyway, when you are deep in the bush on a mission of life and death, there are two main things you think of, even dwell on: your weapons and your food, or more precisely, your lack of food and the lack of variety in your food. Our team had to carry all of our food for this month-long mission. We did have 2 supply drops where our food stash was replenished. By supply drop, I mean wooden crates that have been low altitude parachuted into the jungle and located on our map for retrieval. We, and by we I mean I, had to find these needles in a haystack. The crates were about the size of coffins. A reminder, I suppose, and were packed with ammo, food, various types of clothing, water, medical gear, and body bags. My main focus in this reading is about my complex love-hate relationship with, of all things, Spam. I hated Spam when we began, but I forced myself to accept that I would be eating a lot of it along with Pop-Tarts, which, though I like, toasted anyways, I eventually lost my taste for them. Why Spam and Pop-Tarts? Protein, fats, and carbohydrates. That's a balanced meal. In the jungle, anyway. So, I was consider that like a prelude. That's not in the book. I'm just going to read a couple sections about what's going on with eating. For fun, I play washers at my camp, a variant of horseshoes. I bury 2 topless Campbell's oxtail soup cans in the dirt, about 8 feet from each other. I do not like oxtail soup. It reminds me of soggy Spam. I dislike Spam. Rod once suggested that Spam is the reason that war is hell. manager at the campground is cooking hot dogs and hamburgers. After turning my t-shirt around, I always do that, so if I spill it, it's on the back of my t-shirt. I dig in and try to mingle, but I feel odd. His wife has made several kinds of salads. They even have glass bottled Cokes on ice and potato chips, the kind with ridges in them. For dessert, they serve banana and mayonnaise sandwiches on Wonder Bread. That's still a very famous meal in the South, or dessert, yeah? But I pass on that. That's in the category of Spam and what's this here sauce. After eating at a long picnic table with a family of 5 and a couple on their honeymoon, I feel empty. Soon, another old veteran from the FOB, Forward Operations Base, drives into the compound. He offers bags of McDonald's hamburgers, fries, and several cardboard flats full of milkshakes and sodas. As hungry as I am, I cannot force myself to eat that. I would rather have Spam. I changed my mind. Actually, the fries are okay. Now I like Spam. I pick around in my truck to retrieve a few small bags of half-melted M&Ms, along with a brown paper bag of red pistachio nuts. There is a sleeve of half-broken Oreos. That's fine with some good food there. Head north, no hurry. Maybe find out what the dead are up to. I can always go back to Lancaster for a while. Maybe head back to New York to spend time with the family for a while. The Olympics are in Montreal this summer. This is 1976. I need to recuperate. Eating burgers and shakes is only the beginning. I am so sick of Spam, tuna, sardines, chipped shit on a shingle, and chlorine-tasting water, and Pop-Tarts. I want to eat good meat by a cool stream, with silence and no one nearby. Smoke a joint. I recall the amazing wildlife and other natural wonders I have seen this month. I ate leaves and grasshoppers. I drank juice from a vine. I found wild avocados. I ate alligator, snake, monkey, and a capybara, and fucking Spam. The bugs and crawlers I have seen, birds and butterflies, and that huge snake. Jerky is mostly what I eat now. Spam, tuna, and sardines go well with Tabasco. The jerky bag is nearly empty. The pieces are small with the crumbs of the seasonings at the bottom of the bag. The best treat? Sprinkle Kool-Aid crystals on a Pop-Tart. Take that, Julia child. There are plenty of MCIs dated 1974. This is 1976. All of us have preferred sauce bottles. Many guys like something they call, what's this here sauce? It smells like fish, vinegar, and garlic. I do not like it, but to each his own. The best part for me is Spam, fruit cocktail, and tuna fish, all dated 1975. My sauce of choice is Tabasco. I have a clear bag of dried meat from the supply drop. I do not know what the animal is. It is salty, has dry jalapeno sauce on it, and it tastes good. The meat is medium brown with hints of pink in the thicker slices. I have been eating this for a while, bringing a similar batch from the airstrip and eating it for as long as we've been on the assignment. could have wolfed it the first day, but I am rationing myself. It might be parts of an alligator brought from Florida a while ago. Maybe some of Sunyat's cooking magic with local ingredients. They resupplied us twice with canned rations, MCIs, or military combat individuals. A fancy word for a can of dried or moist food. They aren't sea rations. Those have a wide variety of food and non-food albums. These simple cans of food with a small, difficult-to-use can opener attached, ready to heat and eat. Heating is the hard part for us, as we do not have fires. Keep that in mind. We had one fire the entire time where we did get to cook some meat, but otherwise, I'm talking raw spam out of the can, tuna fish out of the can, beef stroganoff out of the can. Yeah, all. Ugh. Metal containers of food are strewn about. A dead man lies over the overturned side of a 50-gallon drum of spewed corn and ejected cobs. Shit, even they have to eat spam. All the glass bottles look like liquor containers. You all know what a capybara is? Have you ever seen it? Yeah. Think of a groundhog. Yeah. But they got webbed feet, which was odd because webbed feet you usually associate with water, but there never seemed to be water around you. The capybara is soft and pink, like pork. The monkey has tough, dark brown meat. If we had enough time, I am sure that if we tenderized it or fully smoked it, it would be delicious. I eat my fill anyway. Though it is tough, it's better than spam. Tabasco saves the day for me on the monkey meat. Barty and I head out, sharing a can of spam, gouging chunks from the can with my spork and his spoon. Tabasco gets liberal use. Barty looks at me with a cracked smile. Do you know what he spells out? SPAM means? Ha, I think. I'm finally gonna know an answer. I say proudly, sure I do. It stands for spiced ham, I exclaim, raising a fist in jubilation. Barty is suppressing a laugh, snorting as he says, nope, F&G. It stands for, he is doubled over, laughing and trying to keep quiet. He gets it out. Shit probably ain't meat. Everybody loves spam. I dig into the top of my pack, pulling out a can of spam and my plastic bag of jerky. I have made the mental calculation to like spam. Spiced ham, as I've heard it called, even though I do not like it. I've heard that it is made from pork shoulder meat, which is typically the least desirable portion of the pig, but makes good pulled pork. I am sure there is other stuff in there that I probably do not want to know about. Gooey gelatin oozes on a leaf on my lap that I use as a plate. I wipe it with a finger and lick the finger clean. I wiggle out the chunk of spicy meat, slice it in half, giving half to Guan on the end of a K-bar. He takes it. We both eat our share. I pour Tabasco on my piece as I nibble around the edges. Guan goes natural. That's my love affair with spam. I want to thank Robin. Robin had the idea of these props as the centerpieces on the table. If any of that appeals to you, take it, especially the spam, because I still ain't eating spam. We got a few more moments for any questions, but again, sincerely want to thank everybody for coming to this event, enjoying my book. Those of you who haven't read it yet, you know, I get it, I'm not offended. If you get the chance, and I can pique your curiosity, give it a try on either paperback, Kindle, or the audiobook version. I wholly appreciate any amount of references you can give on Amazon or Goodreads. That appears to be a mission that I need to accomplish. George, sitting in the back, being very quiet, was one of the first person to write a review, and he did an awesome job. I could really tell he paid attention, he really read the book, he made some very astute conversations or comments, and that's what I need to help keep the book moving in the direction of a movie, is feedback from people. And in the book, or I can give it to you, I have step-by-step directions on how to write a review on Amazon and Goodreads. So if you're hesitant because you don't know what to do, get in touch with me. I'll give you the written directions, and it's literally 5 minutes other than what you might feel like typing. And here's a hint: type it first on a document, and then copy it, and just paste it in there later. So you don't have to do it all in one sitting. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Okay. We're going to call it a night here. Again, thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming, enjoying my book, and I hope you got something out of today.
Thanks, Joel.
Thank you.
Take them down. Thanks, Joel. What about
No, the nail would be wrong.
Yeah, and Nina wants one too.
Oh, here's one.
Here's one. Nina, oh, she wants this, her signed as well.
Because I got the one from the other
I
guy.
can go into a bookstore and say, here, check this out, go to my Amazon.
It's not the first time I saw you see the same.
I've got my feelers out.
How are you?
Pretty good, yourself?
Doing well.
Yeah. Oh, you got a couple copies for yourself?
Yeah.
I bought one for my daughter, so she said it's one of the first books she's read in a long time, when she put it down. She read it in 2 days, that's how.
Wow. This is a big book to read in 2 days. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Great job, bartender.
Our bartender.
Where's Robert?
I'm married to Joseph's sister Meg.
Oh.
Your cover is
Oh,
very,
thanks.
very excellent. Very,
Thank you.
very nice. It's very rich.
Yeah, thanks.
I would like your autograph on my
Oh, sure.
Maybe I should do this too.
Yeah. How weird is that?